Hello there, Steve-Os. Welcome back to another episode of the movie wrap-up here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Before we do crack on with the reviews and what I thought of each movie I've watched that's brand new this week, I just want to say firstly, if you do enjoy my content, feel free to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment in the comment section down below, let me know what movies you guys have watched over this past week, whether it's old, new, in cinemas, in theatres, either on VHS, Blu-ray, DVD, 4K Ultra, or even on your favourite streaming services as well. As always, let me know in the comment section down below. Love to hear from you guys as always. And if you are new around here and you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below to become a Steve-O. And don't forget to tap the notification bell as well, so that you guys get reminded and get notified on your smartphones or on your tablets as to when I do upload a brand new video here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. So without further ado, let's crack on and see what movies I've watched and reviewed this past week. You, Me and Tuscany. So the first film I have watched this week is You, Me and Tuscany. Now this is a film that actually came out in cinemas and theatres worldwide during the first half of this year, but obviously at the time I wasn't able to catch it, so I've ended up catching it on digital when it got released here in the UK on digital platforms, okay? In fact, actually, I think all the films that I have watched this week, bar one, which I'll talk to you about at the end of this video, but all the films this week are recent releases that have come out in cinemas that I have missed in cinemas, and I'm now watching it on digital. But You, Me and Tuscany, though, is basically a rom-com. Now, I'm not going to lie, rom-coms can be a little bit of a hit and miss genre for me, okay? There are some rom-coms that I do find funny and I do enjoy, and I'm not going to lie, there are some rom-coms out there that I'm more than happy to go back and revisit again, time after time again. But there are some rom-coms that, in my honest opinion, are quite cringy and quite cheesy as well. And I do feel like this is one of those films that does come off as cheesy and a little bit cringy. But then at the same time, it's kind of one of those films where it kind of doesn't really take itself too seriously. And there are times actually throughout this film that, and I feel like it was more so at the beginning of the film, where basically it just kind of was giving off Disney Channel original movie kind of vibes. You know, like the kind of film that you would expect to see on Disney Channel when you were a kid. You know, sort of like High School Musical vibes, but except without the musical pieces to the film. But Halle Berry does star in this rom-com though, and I will say that despite the fact that even though I did find this film a little bit cheesy at times and a little bit cringy at times as well, but I will say that I did still somewhat have an enjoyable time with this film. Would this be one that I would be happy to go back and rewatch again from time to time? I do think so, but I don't think I'd be in any rush to go back and rewatch this anytime soon though. I'd probably just be one of those kinds of films that I'd just be like, yeah, you know what, I've not checked this one out in a while, I should go back and check this one out again. So, You, Me and Tuscany is available to buy and rent now on digital platforms right now. Mother Mary. Next up is Mother Mary. Now again, this film came out earlier this year in cinemas and theatres worldwide. Didn't catch it in cinemas, so obviously I've caught it on digital platforms. This is actually a film that my friend Kieran actually did say. I remember going bowling with him a few months back, and he said to me about Mother Mary, and he did say at the time that I should definitely check this one out because I haven't seen it, and he ended up watching it at the cinema with his mates, and he said it was kind of a weird film. And now that I've caught this on digital, because I never got to see it in cinemas, I can safely say that I do agree with him. This film is a little bit weird, a little bit sketchy, but then again, can I just remind you that this is an A24 film, And A24 are the kind of independent movie studio that likes them kind of weird kind of films, you know. I've seen a lot of A24 films and I've come out of the film going, yeah, that was a really, really weird film, and this is one of them. I mean, there are some musical elements to it, which I think is quite good, but I think visually this film is quite weird. And also as well, I would like to say that I'd like to class this as kind of a psychological kind of thriller. I mean, the acting performances in this are great, and can I just say that Anne Hathaway does star in this film, which, by the way, is probably not going to be the only film that I see Anne Hathaway in 2026. So don't be at all surprised if there's another episode of the movie wrap-up where I talk about Anne Hathaway starring in a film, because there is a couple of films that she has appeared in 2026. Mother Mary being one, The Devil Wears Prada 2 being another, and obviously she's also in Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey, as well, which is currently showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide, which, by the way, at this present moment, given the running time of that film, which is nearly clocking in at 3 hours, I don't really know whether I can actually sit through a 3-hour film from Christopher Nolan. I mean, I did sit through his recent film, not The Odyssey, Oppenheimer. I did sit through that, and that was 3 hours, but I just don't know whether I can sit through and watch The Odyssey for 3 hours, even though it's been described as horror movie-esque. You know, like there's elements of horror movie vibes going on in The Odyssey, but I'm not here to talk about The Odyssey, though. I'm here to talk about Mother Mary. I will eventually get round to watching The Odyssey, which does star Anne Hathaway, and as soon as I do watch that, I will let you guys know my thoughts on that film. But in terms of Mother Mary, though, is this going to be a film that I will remember within the next few days? I do think so. I mean, I think there are some scenes in this film that do stand out for me, especially the visuals in this film. They do stand out for me. And the acting performances alone, again, do stand out for me in this film. But as to whether I would happily rewatch this film again, I think, again, this is probably one of those films that I would rewatch again, but I'd probably check it out every once in a while. I wouldn't be in a rush to go back and rewatch this film. But Mother Mary is now available to buy and rent on digital platforms right now. Power Ballad. Next up this week, it is Power Ballad, which, by the way, does star Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd as well. Now, can I just say that, again, similar to the other two films that I've just reviewed in this episode, another film came out in cinemas. I actually did book a ticket to see this, but then I ended up not watching it. At the time, I just didn't feel like going to the cinema, and so I ended up cancelling the ticket. And then I wanted to go and watch it the following week, but the screenings were just very, very limited, and I think they were during times that I wasn't able to watch the film either. So I kind of missed this one in cinemas, and I do feel bad for missing this one in cinemas, because I did see the trailer for this quite a few times and it did interest me to watch it. So now that I have seen it on digital platforms, what did I think of Power Ballad? Well, I think the acting performances that we see between Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas, I think, is really, really good in this, you know? I mean, to be honest, you know, you've got a wedding singer who is played by Paul Rudd, called Rick Power, and then you've got Danny Wilson, who's played by Nick Jonas. They end up coming across one another. Now, Danny Wilson is actually a former boy band member. Isn't there someone from, isn't it the Kaiser Chiefs that is called Danny? Or am I thinking of someone else? Let me know in the comment section if I'm thinking of the right person. I'm sure there's a Danny Wilson in the Kaiser Chiefs. Maybe once I've cut back to me after this review, or once I've done my other review, I can let you guys know at the end of the video. I'm pretty certain there is a singer out there called Danny Wilson. Anyway, going back to the story of this film though, and basically these two singers, wedding singer, former boy band member that wants to reclaim his stardom, they join forces. The wedding singer has a chorus to a song that he's known for quite a long time, but he's been struggling to finish it, to complete it, because he just hasn't been able to find the words to create the bridge between the chorus and the next line of the song. So obviously these two singers come together. The wedding singer shows this famous singer, well-known singer, his song, and that famous singer takes that song, builds a bridge to that song, and then releases it as a single, which obviously gets a lot of downloads. It becomes like a #1 hit, and even at his concerts, people are singing his song. Well, I say his song, it's actually the wedding singer's song that the singer stole from. But I must say though that I kind of love the dynamic of this story. I feel like the song itself is kind of catchy, and I feel like after you finish watching this, which by the way, the running time does clock in at around about 1 hour and 38 minutes, but I feel like as though you are going to end up having that song stuck in your head, because it is a little bit catchy, which, you know, I guess you can appreciate. I do wonder if that song is available on streaming. Maybe I'll let you guys know again at the end of this video whether it is available to listen on streaming, and if it is, then go ahead and give it a listen, whether you have Spotify Music or Apple Music, or even Amazon Music for that matter. Why not? But either way though, I love this story. It's set in Ireland as well. It's kind of a drama, but I guess there's kind of a like thriller elements added into the drama, which I kind of enjoyed. I thought Paul Rudd was amazing in this, and so was Nick Jonas. And you know what? Even the supporting cast members in this were great as well. Would I watch Power Ballad again? I do definitely think so. Do I recommend watching Power Ballad again? I definitely do think so. And if you do want to check this film out for yourself, Power Ballad is available to buy and rent now on digital platforms. Monster Summer. The final movie that I have watched this week is Monster Summer. Now, Monster Summer came out back last year, actually, and I did want to give this a watch last year. Well, I say last year, but according to Letterboxd, it came out in 2024, so it could be a 2-year-old film, but I did see the trailer to this once, and I did want to watch it. The director behind it is actually David Henry. Now, if you don't know who David Henry is, you probably do or are aware of who he is. He is an American actor. He did star as a kid in How I Met Your Mother, and he also starred as Justin Russo in the Disney Channel TV show Wizards of Waverly Place, which then obviously got a spin-off called Wizards Beyond Waverly Place as well, which is now streaming over on Disney Plus worldwide. But he has done his directorial debut in the form of Monster Summer. Now, what I will say about this film is it is great for kids and teens, I guess. I mean, it does centre around these children, and some strange goings-on is happening around this town where children's souls are being taken away by a witch, which is kind of ironic because I kind of wish that we saw more monsters than we did witch, because I feel like the witch kind of overpowered the monster scenes in this film, which kind of then makes this film actually titled Witch Summer rather than Monster Summer, you know? But either way though, I mean, I still enjoyed this film. I mean, it's kind of set in like the late 90s, so it's kind of got those late 90s vibes. Mel Gibson does star in this film as well, and you know what, I appreciate the fact that this film is one of those films where we don't see kids or teenagers using smartphones, you know, like they're outside playing, they're out on their bikes, you know. Kind of gives you that 90s nostalgic feel to the film, which I miss in some films these days, especially when kids or teens in films are using smartphones rather than riding bicycles. But that being said though, I will say that some of the scenes, and I don't know if David Henry kind of took inspiration from Netflix's Stranger Things TV show, but there was some moments in this film, especially with the kids playing on their bicycles and stuff, where I was kind of getting the vibes from like Stranger Things, where we see Will, Mike and the gang on their bikes as well in Stranger Things. Some of those kind of vibes were hitting me in this film as well. Is Monster Summer a film that I would happily rewatch again? I do think so from time to time. I do appreciate this film, and I am looking forward to seeing what David Henry does direct next in the terms of horror films or even films in general. But I do feel like as well, if you're a teenager and looking for a gateway into the horror genre, then I think this one could kind of introduce you somewhat to the horror genre, or a kind of a gateway into the horror genre without it being too scary or too frightening or even too gory for that matter. But yeah, I would rewatch this one again, but probably only from time to time, maybe just every year or something, I guess. But do I recommend watching Monster Summer? I mean, sure, if you're kind of looking for something that's slightly similar to Stranger Things, then do check this one out. But Monster Summer is available to buy and rent now on digital platforms. Before I do wrap up this episode of the movie wrap up, by the way, there's a couple of questions that I just wanted to answer very quick that I did ask about during the Power Ballad movie review. Firstly, Danny Wilson, I thought was a singer from a band, right? Well, I was actually thinking of Ricky Wilson from Kaiser Chiefs. I think I did ask, is Danny Wilson the name from Kaiser Chiefs, a singer from the Kaiser Chiefs? No, I'm thinking of Ricky Wilson. That's a completely different Wilson. But that being said though, there is actually a Scottish pop band called Danny Wilson, believe it or not. So there is kind of the Scottish connection. So there's the Irish setting throughout the running time of Power Ballad, and there's the Scottish connection with the name Danny Wilson, which again I think is absolutely genius, by the way, that they've done that. Also as well, all the other songs that are sung in Power Ballad that Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas do sing, including How to Write a Song Without You, which is the song that I was trying to think what the name was whilst I was doing the review for Power Ballad, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what the name of the song was. But now that I know what the name of the song was, How to Write a Song Without You, if you've seen the film and you're wanting to hear it again, you can go and listen to it on Spotify Music, Apple Music, and even Amazon Music as well. Okay, it's available to stream on those streaming platforms. I mean, if you've seen the film, then the song's probably stuck with you ever since you've seen the film. But if you want to go back and listen to it again, and then it ends up becoming an earworm, and then you're going to be listening to it days and days on repeat, then you're welcome. I found you a new song that you'll love and enjoy. But that being said though, I think that's all of my questions that I had to ask and answered for Power Ballad. But if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to become a Stevo. Your next video on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, will be out tomorrow, Monday the 20th of July 2026, 6 PM UK time. It's another episode of Lens on Life. We're getting so close to the series finale of Lens on Life. We're getting very close to it now. I will reveal more details, including the release date of the series finale of Lens on Life in a couple of weeks' time. Probably in an episode of the movie wrap-up right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Until next time, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you guys again in my next YouTube video.